Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin discloses his illness that has kept him hospitalized. Facing a fury of questions about Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's illness, the Pentagon finally disclosed Tuesday that he has been hospitalized since January 1st because of complications with prostate cancer surgery. The surgery resulted in a severe infection that has hospitalized him in Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, according to a statement from his doctors released to the Pentagon. Austin's surgery took place on December 22nd, was minimally invasive and uneventful. They lying. But he was under general anesthesia, according to the statement from his doctors. John something, they naming the doctors. The cancer was detected early, which is good. And his prognosis is excellent. That's good too.
Yeah.
Austin 70 returned home December 23rd, but on New Year's Day, he had severe hip and leg pain and nausea, which led him to return via ambulance back January 1st. Austin's failure to promptly disclose his subsequent hospitalization has created a firestorm of criticism and put the White House on defensive. The Defense Department didn't alert the White House that Austin was in the hospital until 3 days after he was admitted and didn't make the information public until late last Friday, the day after the White House was notified. Even then, the Pentagon did not divulge to the president or the public the nature of his illness. Now, do you understand now why I think Biden is ridiculous?
What do you mean?
Why they feel like they didn't need to tell him? What, they felt like he was Sleepy Joe? They didn't need to tell the president of the United States that the secretary
of defense
was in the hospital?
That's rushed to the hospital. Went back to it.
The White House, see, they would have been afraid of Trump if they did that, because they would have been afraid he's firing everybody if he didn't know.
I know.
And he's a liar, too, because he's been in the hospital and not told nobody nothing.
Has some health concerns.
The White House said President Joe Biden was informed of Austin's prostate cancer diagnosis on Tuesday by his White House chief of staff. Mm-hmm. Nobody in the White House knew that the secretary had prostate cancer until this morning. And the president was informed immediately after we were informed, the White House spokesperson said. Why? If you go to your job and the next day you go to the hospital for 3 days and you don't tell your boss, what happens to you?
They let me go. Excuse me. Oops. I had a second job and I forgot to call in.
Go ahead. What?
I was sick. My first job knew. My second job, I forgot. I got a Federal Express saying that they fired me. They let me go because I forgot to call in. So it's very important to let your job know, your coworker, your boss, if you're going to be out more than 1 day. I was 3 days.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It makes sense. Not back
Go ahead.
that way.
Keep talking.
It makes sense that any of whatever has happened to him, it always needs to be told by the upper commander-in-chief. The commander-in-chief needs to know where all of his workers are. If they're in the hospital, if they're not feeling well, if they didn't come in today for the White House meeting or something, the top level needs to know.
You are so tacky. I can't stand you. And that's why this show will never go anywhere.
I don't care. Don't speak that.
No, that didn't go anywhere?
No, don't ever speak that.
All right.
Watch our words and what we put out there. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't know what you think. What's going on with you? There's nothing like that going on.
Yes.
No.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So you got fired. I lost track. What was you saying?
I'm ready to move on with this story because I can care less.
About this guy?
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate that they didn't tell him, but I'm thinking, and you know the Republicans is going to be on him like white on rice. So. I'm sorry.
You want to tell them?
I'm uncomfortable. My bottom hurts.
You want a pillow?
My mother said, "Do you want a pillow?"
I'm on a pillow. Go ahead.
You want to change the blanket?
So go ahead, because I gotta be off the call on it.
Do they know what I'm talking about?
I don't want them to know.
All right,
Go
ahead. Emerald says, I don't want to say it. Was it because he was black? But nah, he just should have said something, Emerald. Christopher said they should have told Uncle Joe. Thank you. But I find it hard to believe the White House didn't know. True, too. Do we even believe the White House? Emerald says, normally, Lenore, they send an officer out to do a welfare check, not fire you. When you got fired.
I didn't call in for 3 days.
Yeah.
They fired me.
She said normally they would have sent somebody to see what happened, not just fire you.
I don't know. My mom worked there.
Christopher said
she was mad because she kept saying, "Did you call in, Lenore, and tell me we're sick?"
Oh, Christopher, that's a good one.
What?
So they haven't had a cabinet meeting in almost a month. That's a good catch. They would have known he was sick if they would have had a cabinet meeting.
Right. Everybody would have been updated on what's going on with everybody.
That's a good catch. Oh, my mom said holidays. Maybe they let everybody off for the holidays. Christopher says, and you would tell your boss if you were going in for surgery. So many questions here. I agree. That's why I brought the story up. Mm-hmm. It's too many unanswered questions with this. Mm-hmm. It's odd.
Unless it's worse than what we thought, and he's just not telling them.
And he's the Secretary of Defense.
Thank you. That's a very important position.
Emerald says the quirky things that you both do make the show unique.
But if you knew what I did recently,
they can guess.
She had to,
and you said, "Excuse me."
I know my stomach is hurting, y'all, and it's just sometimes the gas comes out. And I told my sister, because I am a cancer survivor with colon, a lot of stuff I eat, I got to be careful. I can't be like this. She'd be suffering. Oh, Lenora. And I can't go now to anywhere because we're on show. We're on live.
Let's hurry up.
Go ahead. My butt hurts. Sitting on this flat pillow. Go ahead.
Talking about you don't care about him.
I don't care. Let's keep it moving.
The rest of the show you ain't going to care about.
I don't care. I really,
now
what?
tell me about this. Is Gypsy Rose.
My mom
Gypsy Rose has been in the news. Who is Gypsy Rose?